So if you want to know, if you're curious on what that announcement is, then yeah, you'll have to see it in the stream on what that's about. As for what I have planned tonight, I can figure out if that's what was planned for tonight. It's kind of going to be a lot of things happening tonight, but oh man. So you guys can already see what I got pulled up. I mean, honestly, I don't really think I need the pause because I can't really scroll. So I'm going to do a little bit of scrolling. But I just wanted to have the mask on. But as you guys can see right now, we got I got the GameSpot article pulled up for I would play music, but honestly, this is too heartbreaking, and this makes me so unbelievably mad. Like I'm just gonna say at the top of the stream, if you're not a fan of anger or rage or triggers you or something like that, or some like I'd suggest just waiting for like it's like 40 minutes or so when I am playing a game back to my normal self, just all that stuff. Because right now it's gonna be a shit show. And when I say it's gonna be a shit show, it's yeah, I am it's unmitigated, just unscripted. So, for those who don't know and who are painfully unaware of the travesty that happened yesterday, um, Overwatch 2 was announced in about 2019, right? Um, they announced it, by saying like, "Oh, it's going to be a brand new take on Overwatch. There's going to be a whole branching of PVE with new cosmetics, new story missions, like a whole full-fledged campaign, all that stuff. On top of a revamped PvP experience, all that yada yada yada. Um, they announced that in 2019, right? And like after that, it was basically like dead silent on Overwatch 2 news for years, like 3.5 years, almost 4 years. Yeah, like Imperium pointed out. And out of those years of waiting, of patiently just waiting and just wanting to see what Blizzard's cooking, like yeah, we're all like so excited, like oh my god, Blizzard's gonna blow this game out of the water. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be innovative and new. But no, like instead we get Overwatch 2's like finally get showing off again, and then after that, a little bit, not too long after that, they start showing out beta keys to creators to show them. And the first thing we're hit with is a shop. A shop. Like, think a Fortnite Atom shop, but for Overwatch. Okay? And keep in mind that this is the same people who were behind the Fortnite item shop that I just mentioned. These people, there had some people from those people working on Overwatch 2 shop. So keep that in mind while I talk about that later on. Okay? And first impressions for me personally, I'm like, okay, it's fine. I personally don't really care too much about buying cosmetics too for games. So it's like they got to make money somehow. Since they announced at that point that the game was going to be free to play. Um, and as for Pemberton, to answer your question from earlier, my thumb is fine. I just got like a Spanish stuff for a little bit. Um, I went to the doctor yesterday, but I'm getting it taken care of. I'm okay though. My thumb's fine. It's just I can't really use it too much. But my thumb is okay for the most part. But then back to what I was talking about. Um, so like most people when they saw that they're like, oh god, like rightfully so. But for me, I'm like, oh, I've played a bunch of Overwatch, not Overwatch, Fortnite, Apex, all those type of games where a shop was like commonplace almost. Um, so I was no stranger to it. I was like, okay, it's kind of weird. It's kind of a little annoying that they suddenly dropped this on us. But it's free to play model. They got to make money somehow, right? They can't just be a shell in the same game because loot boxes are not a thing. So they got to make money somehow. Because nobody bought loot boxes. Nobody. I did. I never bought loot boxes. Besides the guaranteed legendary ones, I never bought loot boxes ever. And after that, right, they started handing out beta keys for the game, and for everybody, and well, not beta keys, beta access via Twitch drops with creators that play the game, where you have to watch a certain streamer for 4 hours, and then you get access to the Overwatch 2 beta while they're playing Overwatch 2, like you know, quick sticky fiddly stuff. Uh, but like, are you a cutie? I'm a angry cutie, KR, approximately. But hello to you. But it's okay. So yeah, they did that, and first impressions of the game, everyone's like, where's Overwatch 2? This is just Overwatch 1 PvP. I'm here looking high limits. It's like and one of the people. Are you sure you aren't a cutie? Well, I mean, I'm a cute, but I'm angrily cute. Angry soup at the moment. Yeah. Eh, not to try and shy people away, but like fucking Christ, dude. I can you believe like I was one of the people who was defending the game so hard. I remember I literally made an entire fucking video saying like it's not the same game. This has clear differences that make it majorly different, like the graphical updates, 5v5, fucking new support, new like not support, but new abilities for a lot of heroes, new passives, a whole passive system for all roles, tank, healer, and DPS, which got rehashed like 3 times by the way, the DPS passive. And it's like people were like, what do you mean? Like, why there's no new heroes yet. Like, there's no new maps yet. And it's like, oh, the game looks barely the same. And it's like, no, no, the game looks great. It looks great and it has differences. It's different. It's not Overwatch 1, but oh my god. The fact looking on that video now after what happened yesterday, this really just makes things come to a head. And I was so and like when the video game donkey video came out on that, Overwatch 1.5 or Overwatch 1.1 or stuff like that. I hated that video with a burning passion. I literally unsubbed from Donkey after that because I was so just sick of that. And I was like, he's clearly just trying to dredge up hate. He's trying to dredge up, reactions, trying to get people to look at the video and be like, oh my god, because any publicity is publicity, even if it's from people who are trying to defend the game like I was. But I didn't even watch it out of self-respect, so I didn't want to get in the viewership. That's how much I was like on board with the whole Overwatch 1 is not Overwatch. Well, Overwatch 2 is not Overwatch 1 type of deal. Okay? So I was want to come at the gate. I was so hard to ask anyone who I talked to about Overwatch 2 when it was around the first time it came out, like season 1, season 2, when it actually came out. I was defending the game hardcore. I was like I was telling everybody like no, it's not it has differences. It's not the same as Overwatch 1. It's way better, less CC, less shields, all that good jazz. Right? And like they said PVE was going to be a thing, and then when the game came out eventually, fast forward to that, they're like, oh well, it's going to be pushed to 2023, and I was like, okay, it's probably going to be like January, maybe early February, so no big deal. Like the longer that takes for them to develop it, the better it's going to be. That's usually how it is with video games, right? If they take longer to do it, then it's going to come out like a banger. That's the premise behind a delay. And that's the reason why delays are a thing, not to string us along for a little bit longer just to be like, nope, fuck you. that's gone because that's what happened today. Well, yesterday. Okay, so yeah, they said that, and I was like, okay, that's fine. You can't really rush perfection. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. It's got to be actually, worth something. Yeah, it was about cool and a half for exactly, like exactly. Like it's just the fact that like they were so willing to just ruin that out of nowhere is beyond me. Like so many of my friends that I talk to about Overwatch 2, they're like, okay, well, PVE is really good, then I'll come back to it. If PVE is brings the game back, or PVE is all I'm waiting for. PVE is what I want, because that was the big drawing selling point of Overwatch 2 in the first place. And like people were really banking on PVE being the thing that saves the franchise, saves the game, saves Blizzard, right? So like, and you want to know like that's it. What confirms that to me is the fact that under the video where Stylosa covered saying Overwatch PvE is dead. I'd watch that if you want to get more context on everything in detail. It's in that video under the comments. I can sadly summarize the entire comment section in like 3 sentences, which is Overwatch 2 PvE is dead, or I don't want to play the game now that PvE is basically gutted, or I was only playing the game because PvE was around the corner, you know? Because that was like the light at the end of the tunnel, because everyone was just sitting there, just waiting, breathing, hoping so hard that PvE was going to be the thing that was going to bring the game back together and make the game push forward into a narrative that it hadn't been able to do, right? But instead, we get this bullshit. Because that's cool. Just all the people who've been waiting for a dedicate, like how fucking hard is it to make a PvE experience like fucking Retribution or Storm Rising or the fucking Uprising, the very first event that was PvE based that they made. They had a formula. They just had to stretch it into more than a 30-minute thing, but they couldn't do that. It's nuts. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. There is no logical reason why you can't take something that you already made 3 times. 3 times, I mind you, 3 times that they did it. And they can't take that and stretch it into something bigger. I could care less if PvP was left alone to die in the dust if PvE was actually good and like actually came out the way that they said it would. Like I don't care about PvP. I've played PvP for years in Overwatch 1 and 2. Like I played, it's basically the same thing. So it's like there's nothing different for it. Like why would I care about PvP getting all these updates when PvE was the thing that everyone was waiting for? It doesn't. It's just so un un it doesn't make any goddamn sense. It really fucking doesn't. The potential PvE stuff was the only thing that was mostly interests me about the whole Watch 2 thing. Exactly. That's literally what everyone else is saying. I fall into that category. It's just some patch notes and skins. Absolutely wild. I was eager to I was eager for some campaign co-op campaign with a fan of PvP. Overwatch 2 was basically just some patch notes skins. So yeah. Overwatch 2 was just a way for them to make money from the game again. This is not about pleasing fans. This is not about making a PvE experience or one stuff. They just want the only thing that they care about is their fucking bank account. Okay? And I can count on one hand how many times I've been gone to the shop and be like, I'm gonna buy this skin. I'm gonna spend $20 on a skin that I probably won't even wear because a skin that's actually already in the game for that character is already in my locker somewhere. Like the only skins I've ever bought from the shop since the game came out is the Keep It Hanzo skin and then the Roadhog skin. The Roadhog skin. That wasn't even an Overwatch 2 skin. It was a leak. It was a fucking Overwatch League skin that they re-released in the shop. So that's not even an Overwatch 2 cosmetic that I got. It was just something I've got with League tokens, which isn't even Overwatch currency. So that's even worse. Every other time I look at the shop, I'm like, oh, no, there's a skin that I already have that I don't really care for, or there's a skin that they made. How are you gonna tell me that Sojourn with a fucking hat on and darker clothes is worth $18 to you? How are you gonna sit there and tell me that a recolor with a fucking hat is worth $20? No, nuh-uh. That's if anything, that's not even a skin. That's just like you could mistake that for someone making a shitty render. But nope, that they expect you to pay $18 for that. I could literally go on Fortnite right now and get a skin for like $8. A good skin at that. With like customizable features. They literally released a whole set of skins the other day that had that had customizable features and everything. And it was 800 V-Bucks, which is like $8. Not even $8. That's like you get 1,000 V-Bucks for $8. So that means that you're getting even more value because you can still have V-Bucks left over for like a wrapper or something else. It's oh my god. Uh, do you reckon that's the end of Overwatch 2 content? All for it if you do. I'm sure it's coming from ActiBlizz from what I've seen. I feel bad for the devs stuck in the middle of this shit swarm. But no, listen. Listen, I'm as much as no matter what I say today, I'm still gonna play the game at the end of the day because frankly, there's not many other games that like Overwatch on the market right now that interest me in terms of a shooter. Unfortunately, because no one else is no Paladins is kind of just left in the dust. Honestly, it's the only thing that it has that Paladin has going for it is furry bait, and even then, I don't want to spend money on that either because that's a whole other mess. So as much as I'd hate to say it, I will probably still be playing the game very much as I always do, just with a underlying tone of like this is the best thing I'm gonna get. I don't give a I could not care less about that fucking roadmap that they released. Oh, you're gonna bring back On Fire, something that was in the game in Overwatch 1, and you left in voice lines from Overwatch 1 and added new ones for the new heroes without adding in the core features that the voice lines are coming from? What sense does that make? Why would you want to keep those voice lines in when you haven't even introduced it? They've been in the game since season 1 and we're getting it just now back in season 5 and they're gonna act like oh well it's back, it's a whole brand new thing, when in reality it's like no. Mm-mm. Mm. You cannot sit there and tell me bring and take out a feature and then bring it back like it's something that is new. It's not. Just give me new content. Give me the PVE content that we wanted. Hell, I don't even care if it's something short like the Uprising event. Like Star Watch is fucking trash. That's not PVE at all. It's not. It's like it's literally just assault, but with 2 extra cap points and an unbalanced team comp that you can't differentiate from at all. Because yeah, everyone wants to play fucking Wrecking Ball and Winston into a Bastion with a Mercy, because that's not gonna totally make the game impossible for the attacking side when you have a hard counter to their main front line of defense, which is the tank. Like, nah, that doesn't make any fucking sense. How are you gonna sit? You cannot sit there and tell me that it is worth the money to invest in all that. Howdy, Snow. Hi, Key Lime. I apologize that you're coming in at a time where I'm absolutely livid. So, like, imagine my surprise when when after like no news, on PVE for like I don't even know how long since launch. I get a notification in my YouTube feed. PVE is canceled. And I'm just like, okay, well that's a bit extreme. It's probably just like another delay or something like that for the content to come out. But no, PVE is not dead, but it might as well should be. Because what they're trying to do now, it's like, oh no, it's just story missions. We got story missions now. So like, you're gonna make them, just like uprising and stuff, where it's like a little story mission that you can do with your friends. No, no, we did not want that. You cannot lead us on for years and then push some shitty missions into the battle pass that no one's gonna fucking buy. I don't care if it has a new hero in it or fucking anything worthwhile. No one's gonna want to buy it. Just put it in a. Just do what you're gonna do before. People would have gladly bought that. No one wants to buy your shitty battle pass. Stop trying to shill it. It's making things worse. If anything, if you're gonna release more things like Life Weaver into the game, like that was the only incentive to buying the battle pass at this point, right? Okay, I'm a fan of battle passes. I like them. I honestly find them fun to do. But like, if you're gonna put lackluster rewards and lock heroes behind the battle pass, and then make a hero in the battle pass not even a good hero, like Lightweaver released, and he's probably like one of the worst new heroes in Overwatch history. Not even joking. He's literally like when he came out, I barely saw people playing him on launch. And when I got the finally chance to play him, I was like, wow, this hero is kind of shit. Like you cannot sit there and tell me like, hey, you want to buy the battle pass with Lightweaver in it because he's a new hero? I'm like, yeah, sure. Is he good? And they're like, hell no. And it's like, okay, well, what incentive do I have? He's like, well, you got this cool skin for him too, and he's like, I don't want that either. You got this mythic skin. Oh, what? I don't want that either. Like, I don't play fucking Sigma, so why would I care about a Sigma mythic skin? Why would I play Sigma whenever I'm just gonna get hard counter and have to swap off of it anyway? Because that's how tank meta is in this game. You did rock paper scissors. The goodwill is shot in my eyes. They promoted it despite knowing PvE was going to be released or nowhere close. You look so cute. What a lovely person. Thank you, Riz. I appreciate it. So yeah, and imagine my surprise when I saw PvE was they said PvE was canceled in a new video by Silos, and I watched it, and they were like, yeah, so we're gonna get rid of basically everything that was gonna make PvE like interesting and fun and for everyone involved, and we're gonna just make them little story missions that we're gonna release on a content basis, because like we're just gonna make it so that hey, you're gonna walk up to your friend like, hey, you want to play the new story mission? Or okay, sure. You go and play it, and then it's like, and get it done in like 20 minutes. Like, hey, okay, wait, okay, what's next? He's like, oh, you gotta wait till like season 8 for a new one, and then you just leave. Because like, why would I stick around? They're not gonna sit around and play PvP and get called a toxic shitter and called bad at the game by some fucking neckbeard in their basement playing Overwatch nonstop because they can't play anything else. So that sounds like fun, right? Going into a PvP, a competitive match and being called dog shit just because you're trying to enjoy your time off work or something like that, Because everyone wants that, right? Sounds like a wonderful fucking time. Oh, sorry, Steve, such a shitty turnout. No, I'm sorry for fucking anyone. I honestly feel bad for anyone else that I built into playing Overwatch. Like it's just so atrocious. It's bad. When I say it's bad, it's fucking bad. Like, oh my god, I've never quite seen something like this before with the game. I've never been fundamentally disrespected by a company more than Blizzard. As a customer, I've never been more fundamentally disrespected. It's actually fucking sick how they can just as for 3 years lead us on and just be like, no, we're gonna get PvE, we got it, we're still working on it, and then all of a sudden, literally just one fucking little 10-minute clip on from a 50 minute interview where they fucking Circle Jerk Star Watch for things amazing event. It's not, by the way. And then they're like, oh yeah, so yeah, we're gonna just completely change PVE and make everything about it that was good, like out, take it out, because that makes fucking sense, right? At that point, it just shows that they don't even care.
Emotional, damn it!
It just shows that they don't even care. Also, there's a fucking fly on my thing. Go away. Go away. Yeah. But it just shows they don't even care. You can't sit there and tell me that they actually gave a shit about PvE being a thing in the first place if they can't even get it right at the first time. Fly's still back. Yeah. But it's like, why? Just why? Like, imagine if Smash Ultimate just took if they were just saying like, yeah, we're gonna add in Phantom Kazooie, we're gonna add in Sora, we're gonna add in all these new characters, and then all of a sudden they're just like, nah, no, we're not gonna do all that. We're just gonna add in a bunch of random IP characters that you never heard of. Enjoy. That's what kind of what felt like Blizzard's doing to us right now. Like I don't care. I don't care what kind of PR shit that they kind of drop. Like, oh well, it's good for the game. We're gonna make it so that the live service is even better than before. And season 6 is gonna have a bunch of content. You know what content that I would have appreciated? You know what content that I really, really would have been nice to have and make the game like so much better and finally get it out of its critical just reviewer standpoint. PVE. You know what would have been great for you to keep working on instead of trying to make the game a fucking cash grab? PVE. You know what would have been great if you just dropped all of your shit instead of trying to add in a shop that no one gives a crap about? PVE. It's not that hard. You have a whole team of people that were working on it for that long, and instead of just, at least giving us something, you just fucking scrap it. Why? Just make it make sense, Blizzard. Make it make sense. Because right now I'm totally lost. All I'm gonna say is these story missions better be fucking bangers, and I mean banger. But if they're not, then I feel like the future of the game is fucking dark. A game that I've loved and supported for ages, just getting absolutely fucking gutted, and for what? Like a couple skins that no one gave a shit about in the first place. Like they were doing so well, so they were finally back on track. I thought, and then they hit us with that. And all of a sudden, we're back to where we fucking started in season 1, where the game exists. And like, what's the point of this game existing? Why am I playing this game? PVE is PVE is not even gonna be like. I wouldn't even be surprised if they just went out the gate and said, "Hey, you got to pay $20 per mission to play them," because that sounds like something they fucking do. I It's just beyond. It's beyond me. It really is beyond me that they would pull something like this out of nowhere. How is removing the one thing that was at the center of the advertising be good for the game? It isn't Frozen. It isn't. That's the issue. It isn't. It just isn't. But they're gonna sit there and pretend that it is. They're gonna sit there and pretend that it was the right move, but it wasn't. It never was. It's, they had they had the one thing that was gonna save the game and put it back in the spotlight, but instead, all we got is what? Nothing. Like no one is gonna want to spend any amount of money on your game if you can't even get your priorities straight. on the base though. No one's going to, especially not me. In short, I'm still gonna play the game. Unfortunately, still gonna have to log on. I'll check out. I'll play the new hero, check out the new hero, raise my rank. All that good stuff. Well, just the underlying tone of just knowing from back into my mind, like this is all I'm gonna. This is the best I'm gonna get. Because like PVE, even when it does finally come out, it's probably not gonna be even good. Because why would it be? Why wouldn't they fine tune something to make it actually better and good for the game? Why not just make it more of a cash grab than it already was? Because why cater to the customers? Why cater to the people who know the game almost better than you do? Because they clearly don't play their own fucking game. Because if they did, then they would know how to balance the fucking thing. But they don't. Because Roadhog's still bad. Doomfist is still bad. Lifeweaver is still bad. Arguably, Lucio is still bad too, and he hasn't got any changes until season 2. 2. That was last year, guys. Last year. And what have they done with it? Absolutely fuck all. Nothing. It's to keep in mind that even that Sojourn was in the game and she was like absolutely broken and super fucking busted everywhere for up until late season 3 when they finally decided to do something about it. They act like that it's live service, but if this is their definition of a live service, then it's just evidently how they treat their box games that they release for a price tag. I already I pay the game is free and I still want a refund. This If there's anything to take away from this, it's don't ever settle ever, because I settled for way too long, and this was my boiling point. This right here, this if I could highlight for this right here, this was my boiling.